A man who can't lead himself cannot lead his home. Your daughter is watching how you face resistance, not just in life, but in your own discipline.
Your daughter doesn't need a perfect father. She needs one committed to being better. Welcome to the First Hero podcast, where girl dads break harmful cycles and build impactful legacies.
I'm your host, Cory.
And I'm Rich.
And today, we're going to talk about the topic of discipline. Discipline, such a big topic.
Yeah, big topic. One that I think men are pretty familiar with, right? Wouldn't you say most men would consider themselves familiar with discipline? Maybe not disciplined, but at least familiar with the concept.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think when you think of the word father, it's synonymous with discipline right next to it, the disciplinary.
Is it, well, disciplinary? I was also thinking internal discipline, right? Like you're a disciplined person, almost kind of like a leader, right? You're disciplined, right?
Yeah.
You're a father. You must be disciplined.
Yeah. So
kind of an assumption.
Funny. It's funny. So like this is actually like kind of what I wanted to kind of open up with is we want to properly start with the definition of terms of discipline. So discipline discipline in the eyes of culture that I see, discipline means punishment, right? Mm-hmm. To punish, right? So I want to rewrite the word discipline. Discipline means to teach, right? It's a root word for disciple, right? It's a discipline. Now, in the context of this episode, discipline is the devotion, right? The devotion to yourself and to your daughter, the devotion to how closely you adhere to those positive cycles that you're trying to build.
The commitment.
Makes it. It's the commitment.
It's the commitment, guys.
That's what we want to talk about today in this episode is the commitment piece of discipline.
Yep. Not disciplining, not being a disciplinarian.
Or disciplinarian. It's the commitment.
Self-discipline.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, discipline is kind of the foundation of strength when we think about it, right? And we each of us men have a relationship with discipline. And at moments, if I'm going to be, I'm sure none of the men listening have any idea what I'm talking about at all. But I guess I'm just speaking for myself. My relationship with discipline is hit or miss at times. Yeah. And oftentimes, I think one of the things that I've learned is that, discipline it's a battlefield in a war. And the war is my life, and the battlefield are the days, and the moments, and so the way I view discipline is, it's not a I either won the war or lost the war. It's like, how am I doing in the battles? How am I doing in the trenches? Because moment to moment, day to day, if I'm winning enough battles, even if I'm losing some, I'm still winning, right? And I think, again, part of this from our last episode, just trying to get away from the image of perfection and understanding that life, there is this concept that's been related to me that has been really, really impactful. I think it's applicable here. Life is 50-50. And it's 50% good, it's 50% bad. It's 50% win, it's 50% loss. It's 50% what you want, 50% what you don't want. You can break that down however you want, but it is 50-50, approximately 50-50. And so if we have an expectation that it's supposed to be 100% one thing,
you're going to have a hard life.
You're going to have a harder life, And so discipline is discipline has to abide by the same law. Now, the goal here is that you're not disciplined 50% of the time. we should be exercising and we should be in pursuit of discipline at higher and higher levels, right? More effective discipline. And so I think that's really what we're talking about, is why this strength matters and why strength matters specifically in fatherhood. And the first thing that I want to talk about, which is near and dear to my heart, and man, in terms of being a father, it's probably the one pillar at the core, one of the core pillars at the center of the foundation of me as a father, and that is fitness. That is physical fitness. The body is the first battlefield.
Body's the first battlefield. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. And I want to preface this. Just because you're not where you are fitness level or what is expected doesn't make you a bad father.
No.
Doesn't make you a bad father.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's about being in pursuit, dude.
Right.
Like, are you in pursuit of a body that is threatening?
And
right.
Doesn't mean you're a bad father. And
are you in pursuit of a body that reflects the father,
right,
the capability of fathers that you know that you're capable of?
Right.
Right. And I think for me, you know, as I've mentioned, I'm looking for these parallels constantly. These become kind of my guiding light, my beacons, my North Stars. And for me, fitness has been one of them. And I've had to remind myself several times that just because I've accomplished X in my fitness doesn't make me a better father. And and what I have recognized in that same statement is that if I can accomplish that in my fitness, and I know how fucking hard that was, then this thing that's also seemingly very difficult with fatherhood, I can do that shit too.
Yeah.
I can do that shit too. Because, and that's why I think physical, like pushing your physical limits, I'm going to name marathons because that was a bug I got bit by a couple years back, and I've done several since. But dude, running has been an incredible coach for me and an incredible teacher on being a father. Not because running a marathon directly made me a better father, but being a marathoner taught me my capability, and my capability in this aspect of my life taught me that I'm now capable, that I'm at capability. It doesn't stop there. If I can do this, I can do this. And so that hard battle with my daughter over patience or triggers or anger or connection or presence, it became a lot more capable because I proved to myself over here. I proved that I'm capable. I proved that there's evidence to support the narrative that if I can do this thing, I can do this thing.
You could do anything.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I can go through hell and back, which most times fathering is.
Over and over again.
Yeah. No, I believe it. I believe that. And I will say, I preface this with, just because you're in not peak physical condition, or if you're a father who is not in any sort of condition, doesn't make you a bad father. And I also believe being in shape, working towards fitness, or working towards the discipline of fitness will 100% make you a better father. And I will say that with 1000% conviction. And fitness is ambiguous. It's this big chunked up thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about when you're choosing the gym over the couch, when you're choosing the healthy meal over the junk food. That's what I'm talking about fitness, working towards improving your physique, towards improving your endurance, muscular strength, right? And improving that discipline around that. Because when you do, that's the highest, and we'll get biblical here, that is the highest form of self-respect. And if you believe in God or any creator, that I believe is what God wants for us. Our creators want for us self-respect. Whatever creator you believe in gave us this amazing vessel. This body is, you got to think about it, what it's doing at any one moment, all these chemical reactions, right? You have your organs working, you have your brain processing all this power and electricity, like we're breathing, like we are a science experiment that is so impressive. And to squander it sitting on the couch or not feeding it the food and the nutrients that it deserves, I believe that is the biggest form of self-disrespect. Now, let's talk about the tertiary downstream effects of having a strong, capable, fit body that I 100% know. I've been on both sides, so I can say this with certainty. I've been on the side that has been unhealthy, that has not been strong. And now I'm on this side that has been strong, healthy. And I promise you, this side of the line is much better. I don't drink alcohol. I don't party. I don't do drugs. I don't drink caffeine. And if I do, it's very, very limited. I drink a gallon of water a day. I eat whole unprocessed foods. Now, that doesn't mean I don't eat pizza and enjoy, candy every now and then, because I do. And my wife has a sweet tooth, so it's a little hard sometimes.
It's a battle, right?
But
you're winning the battles.
Exactly. I'm winning the daily battles. I'm doing more winning than losing, and that's the goal, right? Because what it's doing is it's showing my wife, it's showing me, it's showing my daughter that I'm teaching her discipline. And you might be like, well, Cory, she's only 3 years old. She doesn't know. Well, her body and her unconscious mind will take that in, and that would just be normal for her growing up.
Yeah, 100%. And I like where you took this, man. Like it kind of went over my head until I started to think about, what you slowing down to recognize everyone's journey with fitness. I think we have to get away. For those of you listening, I want to take you on a journey real quick. Let's get away from the mindset of fitness equals shredded 6-pack abs and bulging biceps and tan skin and vascular, a vascular complexion. That is a version of fitness. But to Cory's point, I also know that we're all just a reflection in the moment of where we're at. And so I truly think that, as I was listening to you, one of the things that came to my mind is I think what we're calling for is a discipline of fitness that is just simply being in pursuit of your capability. And for everyone that looks a little different. If you've been out of the gym, dude, let's just lay it out there. If you don't have legs, okay, our fitness levels are going to be a little bit different. Our fitness capabilities are going to be a little bit different. That does not mean that you're not capable. It means that you need to find your capability, what's next, and then be in pursuit of that.
Yeah,
right? If you're sick, if you're listening to this and you're sick and you've been hospitalized and your fitness is like, dude, you can't even fathom jumping from where you're at right now to what these guys on this podcast are talking about, like, doing something big and what seemingly what culture would have us believe is like the big. Maybe that's the capability of like being able to walk and not have to sit because you're out of breath. Like that. I think I want to just break it down. Like that's what we mean by fitness. Yeah. And I think discipline is a skill set that we're talking about along that journey. And for every single person, it's a little bit different. And I also just want to caveat this by saying, don't hide behind your insecurities. We all have these thoughts that are offered to us about our body and our capabilities and our limitations and blah, 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 blah. You know them. I know them. We don't need to talk about them. But what I do want to do is I want to highlight the fact that what I'm talking about in being disciplined and having a relationship with your fitness is pushing past those. Is moving that goalpost, moving that finish line in your mind, that limitation, a little bit further. Yeah. A little bit further. A little bit further. And for you right now listening, it might not be running a marathon. It might not be doing a high rocks competition. It might not be whatever society says or has convinced you that it should be. It might be just moving the goalpost a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to take a minute and just harp on that real quick, because I think that's a really good point. People listening, dads listening, just find a way to stretch. Find the way to be in pursuit and move the line of capability and keep it fucking moving. Because if you're not doing that, then I promise you, you're stagnant, and what you think is static, you're actually losing ground.
You're losing. Yeah. No, and I agree. I couldn't agree more, man. This isn't about bodybuilding. I don't need you to get, a physique. I mean, Rich and I, if you were listening to podcasts, we have a physique, right? We're not telling you need to be this person. What we're telling you is that fitness is a non-negotiable pillar in our life. Mm-hmm. It should be a non-negotiable pillar in your life as well. And what we mean by that is improving yourself every day. What Rich was saying, moving that goalpost, just get a little bit better. Whether that means walking a mile, getting down, doing 20 pull-ups, push-ups, whatever, just improve. Get a little better every day. And I promise you that 15 pull-ups or 15 push-ups is going to turn into 60 and 100. And then before you know it, you're going to be like, damn. So that's what we're talking about, right? And what I really want to focus on is the downstream effects of this. And why I say this is a non-negotiable, dude. Like, you need, like, you're a father, you're listening to this, you need to get up and you need to move. You need to do something. I don't care if you work 10, 12, 8-hour days. You need to get up. You need to do something, because I tell you what, the energy that I have now is way better than it was when I was on the other side of that fitness line, right? I have the energy to be present, energy to show up and run around with a toddler, literally all day if I need to, right? I have the strength to protect my family. And I want you to let that sink in. I have the strength to protect my family. I'm a soft teddy bear. I like to say I'm kind, I have a heart of gold, and I will choke you out if I need to, right? I'm just being brutally honest. And I think the fortitude to endure tough situations, with what Rich just mentioned earlier. When you do hard things become easy, whether that be physically and, most importantly, psychologically. The things that I have done in my life, I've done some hard shit, which makes pretty much a lot of things easy now. Like, oh, I can figure that out.
Doesn't make it harder.
It doesn't make it, right? It doesn't make it any less easier. It's still hard, but I know I have the capacity. I have the fortitude to endure that. It's a physical manifestation. It's a physical manifestation of your commitment to being your best self. And mind and body are connected, my friend.
Yeah, and what we're talking about here, guys, is very much connected. And for those of you that have some background in this connection between conscious and unconscious and manifestation, if you're familiar with any of this, then you're probably picking it up. But if you're not, let's just simplify this a little bit. The journey of being a better father is a hard one. It is a fucking hard one, guys. And we have to train appropriately. Think of yourself like an athlete, dude. You are about to enter the arena and compete, right, with yourself.
The arena of life.
The arena of life, the arena of fatherhood. Yeah. And in order to do that, you need to train. And part of your training is this. And the reason why is because this, as your foundation, there's a couple things that are happening. First, at a high level, let's zoom way out. Your fitness and your commitment to fitness your commitment to fatherhood and your capability to step into those really hard situations and be transformational in who you are and how you identify in your connection with your daughter, that all hinges on one thing. It's belief. And the way you go from where you're at right now to believing that you deserve that level of connection and presence with your little girl is evidence. And you have to create evidence. And so this is a tool and a cycle that that you need to create in order to be constantly creating an overwhelming amount of evidence that you are capable, that you are a person of resilience, you are a person of structure, you are a person who can persevere, who can push past limits. You're not a person who turns away when things get hard. No. You need all of this evidence spinning in your favor like a momentum wheel, just shooting all of this accolade towards you. And that momentum wheel, confidence, right? You need all of that in your favor. And part of how you get that is committing to physical stuff. And again, that physical stuff doesn't look the same for everybody. Find your hard and fucking move it there, right? And then be in pursuit of that until you get it. Then move the fucking goalpost again. It doesn't matter where you're at. It matters that you're in pursuit and you're in the journey. You're in the process. You're making progress. Yeah. Because all of this is creating evidence for you between your ears to start the belief and start the momentum in your beliefs that, yeah, dude, if I can make that movement, maybe I can. Maybe I can correct this relationship with my daughter. Maybe I can show up differently in those moments of trigger where I feel completely out of control. Maybe I can solve this. All of a sudden, your mindset will start to shift. And so there is a direct connection to the man that commits to being disciplined physically and the man who is capable of transformation to a deeper connection with their daughter.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. And this is actually bringing up a point that I really wanted to talk about too, was the discipline of commitment, right? And you pretty much hit it, because we have the discipline of physicality, of fitness, and then also commitment of doing what you say.
Yep.
Right. And believing yourself. I think that's the most important part. I think that's why men lose a lot of confidence, specifically fathers, is because they tell themselves, I'm going to start the gym tomorrow. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they don't do it. And then after a while, after lying to themselves, after lying to yourself for so long, you don't believe yourself anymore.
Yeah.
And what a confidence killer. Oh. I mean, tell me,
comment if you're on YouTube watching this. Please comment and let us know.
Yeah, let us know, dude. Let us know where you're at, man, and don't be scared. Don't be scared. Be a little vulnerable. Let us know where you're at confidence wise. But what a confidence killer in men is not doing what they say, and that and the discipline of doing. And look, I'm not perfect. I'm in pursuit, just like Richard. There's days where I miss the gym, but I try and make the gym a little more than not. And when it comes to my word, though, that's ironclad. I'm at a 98 to 99%. If I say I'm gonna fucking do something, I'm gonna do it. No, there is no doubt in my mind. If I tell you, yes, I'm going to be here. Yes, I'm going to do that. Obviously, life stuff happens that I've had to cancel plans before. But when I give you my word, when I give you a promise, I keep it. I keep it to myself. I keep it to my daughter, and I keep it to my wife. A disciplined man does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah, and I think internally, dude, this is why discipline is so important, because we're talking about beliefs, right? And this is all in a pursuit of becoming a better father.
Yeah.
And in order to transform into the better and better father, we need to have an immense belief in our own capability. And our discipline is hinging on the evidence to support that we're keeping promises to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it can be something small, dude. I'm just going to share a little story. After years and years and years of this roller coaster of discipline, for me personally, with all aspects of my life, whether it be specific things in my business, whether it be my fitness, whether it be shit with my little girls, being disciplined on what I said I was going to do and how I was going to handle specific things. It's interesting, but one of the things that I've traced down is my ability to wake up to my alarm the first time and not hit the snooze button. Now, I don't know if any of you can relate to this. I can only go so many days where I hit the snooze button and don't wake up when I set my alarm, because in my mind, I said that I was waking up at that time. I set my alarm not to snooze. I set my alarm to wake up at 4:45. And I can only go a couple days before that shit starts to eat at me.
Dude.
If I set my alarm at 4:45 and I snooze for 45 minutes, there's a fucking weight on my chest.
All day.
All fucking day. It doesn't matter whether I woke up and killed my workout. It doesn't matter whether I had a great morning with my girls. It doesn't matter whether I crushed it at work. I still have a guilt. And that little guilt, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about drifter versus designer, or defaulter versus designer. That's the designer mindset. There's an intuitiveness. There's an awareness that I have, and maybe you have as well. You got to let me know if this is resonating for anyone else. It's something so small, but I swear it's one of the key metrics in my life now. I know that when I set an alarm, I have a thought in my head that night before when I set the alarm, okay, Rich, you know what it means. You know the commitment. Right. And it's fucking setting an alarm, guys. To the rest of the world, to people who aren't like us, they're thinking it's a fucking alarm, dude. Okay. But for me, it's the first commitment of the day. It's the first promise that I either keep or break to myself that day. Yeah. And that sets the tone for the whole fucking day.
Beautiful. Yeah. And that consistency, the commitment, right? This discipline of commitment. I mean, let's just talk about the downstream's effects of that, not just as a man and as a father, but for our daughters. Let's talk about that. When she sees you showing up consistently, your daughter is building a model of the world, right? People do this. People say that. This is how people are. This is the way the world should be, right? If she's young, And I'm saying this now because my daughter is young. But if you have teenagers, small children, toddlers, they're still building. I mean, even young adults, we're still building a model of the world and
totally.
how people should be. Examples
of stuff, right?
traits,
examples of excellence,
values, beliefs, all these things. They're still forming that, right? Especially the younger you are, like you have more ability to mold that for your daughter. And I'm using this because Tatum's about to turn 3. When you show up consistently in your life, whether that be physical or just commitments, you're showing her the value of that commitment, right? This is what people do. And when she believes that, that's what she expects of other people. Now, taking that into relationships, she's not going to let people, walk all over her. And when she's looking for another man, she's going to find a man that is going to embody what you do, right? She's going to find a man that holds his commitment, that holds his fitness and his physical capabilities at the top of his priority, right?
Something that comes to mind, dude, is and it's not just a man; it's also friends and relationships that she'll be attracting in her life. And it reminds me of, we don't attract the people we want to attract; we attract the people that we are.
Yep.
And the thing is true for your daughter. You're sending her into the world as her leader. And as her leader, your job is to prepare her to go into the world to attract everything that is alignment with her greatness in the world. And part of that is the relationships. And so that starts with how you show her what commitment and what discipline and what keeping promises is all about.
Keeping promises, man.
Because that's going to be her internal operating system, is whether she is willing, whether she sees the value in keeping promises. And dude, if you're listening to this, I don't even think we need to go into this, but it should just be stated, like, we all agree that keeping promises, insignificant and significant, are how you unlock the greatest things in all capacities of life.
Right. People trust you. They want to be around you. They can rely on your word, right? I mean, think about the people in your life that you can't really count on. Think about the people who lack the discipline of commitment, right? Who go back on their word, and you're just like, I don't really want to be around those people. And now think about the people who you love and want to be around, who do what they say they're going to do, right? Who
they're dependable.
They're
trustworthy.
Right. They're trustworthy. They're empathetic. They listen to you, and they make you feel safe and secure. I mean, this is at the very bottom of it. This is what it's about. It's about creating traits inside of your daughter that carry on generations, that echo through your generations. You're going to pass these traits on to your daughters. You're going to pass it on to her children, and so forth. Right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that discipline, this concept of discipline, it's really internal, right? We're talking about this. First Hero is really about the on the surface, the connection, a better connection with your daughter, right? But internally, the biggest transformation, the biggest power move is transformation in ourselves as fathers first, because we can't be something that we're not. We can't show up outside of ourselves in a way that we're not internally aligned with.
Yeah.
And so that's why this discipline, it's really looking internal, and it's having an internal gauge. It's what you do in the shadows. It's what you do when nobody's looking, right? Because when you think that your daughter is not looking, she is. When you think your daughter's not paying attention, she is.
She's picking up on everything.
And spoiler alert, so are the other people. Yeah. So is your wife, right? If you think your wife doesn't know what food you're sneaking when you go into the pantry, trust me, from experience. I mean, from a guy I know, she's paying attention.
Yeah.
But it's not vanity to focus inward, and I think that this is really, really important, because some people may struggle with that. They may want to hide behind that, right? Like, oh, I'm all about my kids. I don't have time to be about me. Well, if you were really all about your kids, you'd also take a moment to recognize that in order to be all about your kids and take it to the next level, you have to be about you first.
You have to be you first.
You have to, because there's shit in all of us. If you're not committed to a certain level, and you're not progressing and going through this journey, then you're not able to pour from an empty cup.
Yep. 1,000%.
it's a total fallacy, right?
And it comes to do as I say, not as I do. If you're telling your child this is how you need to be without actually being that person, I mean, they're going to call bullshit. They're going to look at you and be like, dude, you're a joke. And that's literally, the story that I shared on a previous podcast that, my wife's, I guess, uncle showed up as that man, where he showed up and his kids didn't take him seriously. He said one thing, but he did the other, and they didn't take him serious.
Yeah.
They're like, screw you, Dad. But Rich, what I kind of wanted to talk about another discipline that's pretty heavy on me. And I know this is another big thing that I sometimes struggle with. I'm immensely much more improved, but it's emotional discipline. I want to talk about emotion. I know it's not like in our notes or what we talked about, but I kind of want to cover that. Just talking about like what you're talking about. Like, we need to work on ourselves first. We need to be the father. We need to be the example that we show up. And we are very emotional beings that tend to use logic, tertiary or secondary. We're emotional first, and then we tend to use logic to back up that emotion. So I kind of want to talk about becoming the ideal father, and a lot of that, especially as men, is emotional, and specifically anger.
Yeah, dude. First off, I feel like we have to address the elephant in the room, as a big majority of our audience is most certainly fathers and men. If you are a man, and I want to be very direct and honest with you guys because I know that you can take it. If you are a man and you have any shadow of a thought that you're not emotional, this is specifically for you, because you are living in a lie. My friend. And I want to just give you a little bit of perspective from a fellow man who, I love masculinity. I'm fully in it. And when I talk about emotions, I'm not talking about crying on the fucking couch with Cory, although sometimes we do that.
We've done it. We've done it a couple times.
What I'm talking about is being in touch and regulated and aware of your emotions, because strength has a limitation when it comes to men, and men who don't understand or pretend like they are not human, and that is to be non-emotional, then they are leaving a lot of their strength on the table. So I'm encouraging you to connect the dots, that being a strong man, this is strength to me. I think a strong man is an example of a man who is fully in touch with their emotions, and regardless of what emotion they're feeling in that moment, they can show up and do the things, the hard things that the situation deserves. And here's an example of that. If your family was in peril, you're not going to fucking tell me that you weren't scared. You're not going to tell me that if you watch someone harm your daughter and you're being restrained, that you're not feeling angry. That's called an emotion. So if you're going to try to pretend that the emotion, I'm a man, I'm not emotional. I'm not an emotional guy. Yeah, you are. And guess what? You're going to become a stronger guy when you recognize that your emotions are powerful.
And they control you.
It's how you react to them. And if you're going to keep sweeping them under the rug, like I'm not emotional with these cultural, one-liners that just as men have adopted over the generations, let's just cut this shit at the door.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
Let's cut this shit at the door, dude.
Yeah.
If you want to be truly a strong man, and this is what I'm in pursuit of, I want to be a man that regardless of what emotion I'm feeling in that moment, I have the capacity to show up 100% and take the action in that moment that it deserves, regardless of whether I'm scared, feeling insecure, not feeling confident, feeling a little shameful, whatever I'm going to feel, that's fine. I'm going to recognize that, but it's still going to show up. And I think in order to go to that level, you have to acknowledge that there is emotion that surrounds this, and strength is moving through it.
Holding the tension of a difficult moment, right? Because these difficult moments are hard, but able to hold the tension, bear that tension on your shoulders, bear that weight of the world without crumbling.
And that's what it feels like.
Right. And that's what it feels like. And it's being that stoic. They call it stoicism. And it's not a man. So a disciplined man, because I want to bring this back to discipline. A disciplined man is not a man necessarily without emotions. It's a man that's in pursuit of mastering those emotions. Now, I don't say that has mastered emotions because I don't really believe that anyone can master emotions. Maybe monks.
Master your reactions to emotions.
Exactly.
Because you're not, my belief is, and
you're
I think
going to feel
your emotion, you're not in control of your emotions.
Exactly.
But you are in control of your reaction to them.
Exactly. Thank you for clarifying that, because I do believe that. Emotions happen to you. Like anger is a communication emotion. Something's happened. A boundary's been crossed. A belief has been, has been crossed, or someone has done something that's gone against your belief, right? We feel emotions constantly. It's about mastering your reactions to them. You're mastering your awareness around the emotions and saying, okay, I'm feeling this way. What's going on, right? A disciplined man is not without emotion, right? He doesn't fly off the handle. He doesn't shut down. He just holds that tension, right? He's able to hold it. Now, to your point, I think it is bullshit. I think we just got to say it right now. If you are a man that says, I'm not emotional, which if you're one of Rich and I's friends and you're listening to this, and you know who you are, you're full of shit, dude. And let's talk about it offline. But I hear that. I hear men just say, I'm not emotional. I'm not an emotional person. It's like, dude, I will also.
That's your limitation.
That is also a conditioned response or a cycle. It's called a freeze cycle that you have built into your life to protect you, because you've learned that from an early age that you need to freeze whenever there's a difficult moment. And you chalk it up to, I'm just not emotional. And your wife feels it, your daughter feels it, and it's fucking bullshit. I'm here to tell you right now, that's a cycle that is learned, and you can break that cycle.
The fucked up thing here, and to shed a light on this, because we're really getting deep now, this is a cycle that is present in men of today, and is supported by men as a positive attribute. And I think that this brand and Cory and I and the community that we're building are standing firmly against that narrative.
Yeah.
Because it's been my experience. I'm just talking from my experience. This has been learned. This wasn't created by me or Cory, but it has been learned, and now it's been implemented, and it's also been experienced by us that it's a complete fallacy. It's a complete fucking hiding behind the curtain approach. And a group of men, they're going to pat each other on the backs, saying, oh, yeah, no, I'm emotional. Oh, she's emotional, or he's emotional. Or it's like,
shut up, dude.
Talk about your anger. You never feel angry? You never feel pissed off? Well, if you feel those, guess what? You also feel sad.
Right.
You also feel shameful. You also feel guilty.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can't pick and choose when you think emotions are going to be, when emotions apply to you. And I think that's what we're inviting the listeners into is just standing firmly in the fact that, listen, we're all in this human experience together, and part of it is emotions.
It's emotion. And
as a man, how we react to emotions on a physical level is probably different than women. And I think, unfortunately, there's this ideology or idea that, being connected to your emotions is somehow feminine, but it's not. It's not. Men show up and do things a certain way, and women show up and do things a certain way. They both experience the emotional roller coaster. And to be honest with you, a strong woman and your daughter acting in strength, you better hope and pray that in her hardest moments of challenge, in her hardest moments of turmoil, that you've armed her with the ability to push through her emotions, not sweep them under the rug and pretend they don't exist until one day she just is going off of the rails and nobody knows why, neither does she. You teach her to push through the emotion and jump into the situation and action from a place of power and strength. And I think it's the same for men.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's exactly the angle that I wanted to hit here and ultimately get to with this, emotional discipline, is that as a man, there's masculine energy, feminine energy. And I think both sexes have both, male, masculine and feminine energy inside of them. However, I believe that as a man, your masculine energy is dominant in the household. You are a leader inside of your house, and you set the emotional tone and tempo of everybody in the home. And I first felt this when I got married to my wife. My wife is an empath. She's a beautiful person who I would like to say is, for the most part, very well emotionally regulated. She is. And after spending quite a bit of time together being married, I noticed she started reacting certain ways. I'm like, oh shit, that is me. That's me. My dysregulation poured into my wife. And now I feel like I can see myself and my daughter now reacting like how I would react sometimes. Right. And then noticing like, okay, my masculine energy, my dysregulation, it's like a tuning fork. And it's resonating at a certain frequency. And when my dysregulation's fucking pumping at this frequency, it throws the whole house off. And then my wife learns to react that way. She adopts it, right? We have these mirror neurons, we call, where your kids start to act like you, right? And I see my daughter starting to act a certain way. I'm like, okay, shit, this is very important. I need to understand. I need my regulation. And this is the downstream effect of being dysregulated or even being regulated, right? When she learns how to regulate herself, they call it co-regulation. When I have the emotional discipline to be a stoic in the household, my daughter, when she is emotionally dysregulated and you are calm and you're holding the tension in that hard, difficult time, and you're not freaking out, and you can't handle her emotions, right? You feel it deep down in your gut. You have this visceral reaction like, oh, it's deep in your body. When you're able to bypass that and stay disciplined in these emotional storms, you're teaching her nervous system. It's happening at a cellular level to that her emotions are safe, that her emotions are okay, and that this is just a moment in time, and she'll be able to get through this process. To Rich's point, that is what I want my daughter to be able to do in hard and tough situations, not crumble like a quote unquote woman. Oh, women, they can't do what men can
emotional,
do. They're
right?
emotional. They can't. I want to teach my daughter to be a badass and be able to hold it and be able to navigate these emotional storms in life, in relationships, in her job. I hope she's an entrepreneur like myself one day, and that she's able to run a Fortune 500 company and keep her head about her, right? Whenever her boyfriend or her husband, is acting like like a dick, she's able to keep her head on straight, right? These are all traits that I want to pass down to my daughter. And it starts with me having the emotional discipline now, right now, and working towards that mastery, right? And the pursuit of that mastery.
Yeah. There's so much that I want to add into this. My head spins, but at a fundamental level, I just want to connect the dots that the first hero concept is one of, first, we have the opportunity, gentlemen, to be our daughter's first hero, and forever,
and hopefully best
first hero, and hopefully best.
Yeah.
And that comes with a secondary obligation or opportunity, really, which is we have to be able to show up first for ourselves. We have to save ourselves first, because nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to come save. There's no fucking career change that's going to save you. There's no greener pasture. There's no new house. There's no new place that you can live to. There's no new wife, no new girlfriend, no new fucking situation that's going to save you. You have to be your first hero too. And I think that's that second order of this, is that really that's kind of the secret in this whole thing, is that you lead your daughter and lead that connection first by leading yourself.
Yeah.
And all of this discipline is inward. and the level at which you're disciplined and the actions that you take and the things that you say and the words that you honor to yourself set the tone for your entire household. And another thing that I wanted to add before I forget is about this emotional regulation or dysregulation. For any of you listening who are of the identity, or maybe you've caught yourself saying in situations like, I'm just not an emotional guy, I can make a decision like this, it's just as easy as whatever, right? I get it, dude. I get it. It's cool. It's smooth. It's the guy thing. Like, I get it, dude. I think I've probably said that in my past too.
Yeah, I know I have.
But here's the reality, and here's the gut check. If you're listening to this and you resonate with situations where you feel guilty around how you reacted with your daughters or daughter because of reactiveness, welcome to the emotional conversation, my friend.
Yeah, welcome to the emotional
because
roller coaster.
That's how it shows up. You want to see the second order consequences of pretending that you're not emotional and continuing to hide behind the verbal identity or internal identity that you're just not an emotional guy. I don't know, man. They're emotional. I'm not. Nah. You keep sweeping that under the rug. What's going to end up happening is that reactiveness will continue. That nuclear side of you will keep showing up, that anger, that frustration. You will create weak daughters. They will choose weak relationships. They will choose easy paths. They will have a very hard life. They will struggle to find happiness. They will struggle to find confidence. They will struggle to find meaningful relationships and people that will bolster them up because they are not used to valuing high-value people.
They high value themselves.
With high value themselves.
Yeah.
She has been taught to value low value internals and low value discipline. And therefore, that is the standard by which she interprets and accepts the world around her.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to take it to that level because I think it's something super important listen, dude, we're all emotional and it's showing up.
Yep.
Whether you're paying attention or not, it's showing up. And so it's time to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. If you haven't already, wake up, man. And to Rich's point, it's beautifully said. They call that the father wound in like this parenting space, the father wound inside of daughters, right? And we really like this podcast, this whole first hero movement is about becoming that antidote, right? Becoming the antidote. And if this has happened to you already, it's not too late, right? Because the research is abundantly clear, right? Emotionally undisciplined or emotionally unavailable fathers create daughters who seek validation, who seek out other men who seek validation from unavailable men. Emotionally unavailable men, emotionally unavailable friends, emotionally unavailable fill in the blank.
Can I add one thing in here?
Let's go for it.
For the men listening, think of a time when you were single, and I want you to think of the girl who you said had daddy issues.
Easy prey.
And I want you to think of the characteristics that woman or that lady displayed.
Yep.
And I want you to think of, don't necessarily have to go as far as how you reacted because that may or may not be noble. But I want you to think of that. And I want you to ask yourself, did you see that woman in a light of strength and confidence and respect? You don't have to answer. You don't have to put this in the comments. But I want you to think about it because you know the answer. And I know the answer too. And this is the antidote. That's exactly, dude. This is the antidote to creating that.
Yeah. Yeah. Emotionally or a disciplined father, he's the ultimate antidote to this, man. And that's what creates the girl. And to put it into your perspective, because I guess I've never thought of that. And I'm just like, whoa.
I've got an image in my head.
Right.
Dude.
I got the image. I have a girl at the bar that's just like, oh my God, this girl is like, what the hell? I want my daughter to be the girl at the bar that like all the guys are trying to hit on and just nobody can close her.
Yeah, dude.
Right. She's just like, nah, you're a fucking loser. No, you got what? Right. Who are you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, get away. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the ultimate antidote. Yeah. We are. Right? Because we're emotionally available. We're emotionally disciplined. We're physically disciplined, right? We've done the work on ourselves. We're present. We pay attention. We affirm our daughters, right? We affirm who they are. We don't praise what they do. We affirm and we praise who they are, right? But we are the vaccine. We are the vaccine to this disease of the daddy issues, right? This is what inoculates her against choosing this from other men and other people. That's all I have to say about this.
Yeah. Let's jump into some tactics, dude, because I think, I'm going to name one that really hits home for me. And it's just involvement. Like, involve at the earliest ages you can. And I know that people listening, dads listening, you got little girls at all ages. Mine happen to be young. And so involve them, dude. Involve them in the situations. Don't hide them from the world that you're conquering. Yeah. Don't hide them from the situation. Don't feel like you have to shield them from the hard. In fact, you're probably doing worse. You're doing the opposite of what you really intend to do. And I know that it might feel like a bit of a hindrance. Like, here's an example, dude. We just recently moved. I've never had a home gym before, but now I have one. And, one of the unforeseen, really fucking cool things, which at first was a little annoying, I'll be honest. But, I'm working out in the morning. I like to get it out early. And, my little girl, she would come out of her room early. And she comes and finds me in the gym. I'm the only one home. Her little sister's sleeping. And she finds me in the gym. Totally fucking interrupts my jam, right? I got loud music playing. I'm fucking trying to throw weights around and not worried about little toes and, her standing right in front of me when I'm trying to do a deadlift or whatever, right? She's a bit of a nuisance at first. And, to be honest with you, maybe she still is, but here's the overwhelming truth. However, to whatever capacity she's a nuisance, now I recognize that it's such a gift to have her just observe and be part of it. She's grabbing equipment. She's grabbing these little weights, dude. And she's lifting them over her head. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, but she's doing it, right? And she wants to do pull-ups with daddy, right? So I pick her up. I do some pull-ups, and she's so proud of herself.
So cool,
right?
Dude.
She's climbing up the box, I don't know, the fucking foam box that you do workouts on. She climbs up that. She's trying to reach a weight. And I'm encouraging her, and she's asking for my help, and I'm telling her, I'm encouraging her, you're not going to fall. Daddy's got you, right? Your job. That's one of my messages that I try to communicate her as consistently as I can is your job, Ella, is to reach as far as you can and jump as high as you can. And then daddy will always be there to catch you as long as you're working hard, right? As long as you're reaching for the stars, I'll always be there to catch you.
Yeah. Love it, dude.
And so she's reaching so hard and she's so scared. It took us 10 minutes for her to lean over the edge of this box to get this thing because she was afraid she was going to fall, and I had her tummy. I'm describing this moment because what I realized is it's actually one of the most beautiful things that I've been able to experience, such a gift, to be able to now expose my daughters to what it looks like to be committed, what it looks like for what it looks like for my version of fitness. And it's different for everybody, but I'm just sharing with you mine. She gets to be involved in that. And she gets to be acclimated to what it feels like to be in a gym and see what hard work and see what sweat and hear the grunts and see my facial expressions when I look like I'm going to die. That is, so you just need to involve them, whether that's even taking them to work. If you're an entrepreneur, dude, welcome to another gift. Involve them in your work. Show them what hard work looks like. As an entrepreneur myself, I hate having to leave my family, especially when my little daughter is running after me with a sad face because I have to leave again. But guess what? I started implementing this. Listen, honey, I make promises to you and I keep them, and I make promises to other people and I keep them.
Yep.
And what daddy does for work is he helps people. And I'm going to go help some people because I promised that I would. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to hang out with you because I promised that I would do that too. And she's gone with me on some of these appointments. She's been to open houses with me. And so she gets to see that and experience that. So involve them.
Yeah, I love it, dude. And she's probably, to your workout point, I guarantee you she's having the time of her life.
So much fun, dude. Yeah.
So much fun. And that little inconvenience for you means the world to her, because you got to think about her model of the world, man. And, we'll move on to this, but I'm really glad you brought this up because her model of the world is this big. She knows your house, maybe gymnastics, maybe jujitsu. And her model of the world's not that big.
Right.
So to her, that attention is everything. Mm-hmm. And to you, maybe that's the point of kids. They slow us down. You know, maybe that's the point, you know, and to us, like these minor inconveniences are what shape them, right? You taking the time, the extra couple minutes to ensure that she's safe and that she could do that. Like those are skills that you're building every day, dude. And I love that, dude. And if you're a father, you're listening to this, I want you to involve your daughter in seemingly unimportant, irrelevant tasks, especially if they're small. Like Tatum, I have her help me cook. I just want to put her in front of the TV and say, shut up, kid. I got to clean the house and I got to cook food and I got to, you know, go mow the grass. I got to do all this shit. And I'm like, you know what? Tatum, come here, help me out. And it takes twice as long, but you know what? We have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And actually another point, I didn't even realize that I had talked about this, but like, solve a challenge, like a shared challenge together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If the grass needs to be cut, like, okay, listen, here's what we got to do. And this is specifically for girls who are smaller, right? I'm not talking about teenagers. Like, you're not going to grab a teenager, hey, listen, so guess what? Guess what we're going to do today, right?
But you can still share some challenges.
But share some challenges, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what a challenge is as a teenager. I'm not in there. Here, that's a good one to comment. Comment, if you got teenage girls, what is a challenge? What is a shared challenge? I'm genuinely curious. What is a shared challenge that a teenage girl and their dad could potentially work on together? Comment below. We'll definitely pay attention and check those out.
Well, cool. I think we beat this. I think we want to start landing the plane here.
Let's do it. Yeah. Well, so I want to leave you with a couple things. So just to kind of to button this up.
Well, we want to do the quote first.
Yeah, I was going to leave him with one thing here, just in terms of legacy.
Got it.
Remember that strong fathers raise daughters who don't go looking for strong men. They already know what strength looks like because you are the example.
Yeah.
I want you to think about that, and that does bring us to the quote hot take.
Yeah.
So it's my turn on the hot seat, and so this will be cool.
Quote hot take, just for a reminder, or for those of you who are new to the channel. Rich and I, at the end of every podcast episode, we take turns leaving each other with a quote, and then they have to. So for example, I'm going to give Rich a quote, and he doesn't know what quote I have, and he has to give his take on it.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead, and so I got a bunch of different quotes here. I think I didn't have one planned. I just want to do like what felt right. From this episode, and I think I got it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fathering is not something perfect men do, but something that perfects the man.
Very fitting. Fathering is not something that perfect men do, but something that
perfects the man. I felt like this was perfect for the episode.
Man, a lot of things come to mind. First thing, just to kind of start voicing my thoughts here. I think that there are hidden gifts to being a father, and I think just because you're a father doesn't mean you see the gift. And I think so much of this has to do with being aware. In adopting a designer's mindset, a designer of your life, a designer of your relationship with your daughter, over a defaulter mindset of just accepting what is given to you, and that's just how life is, and my daughter is like her mom, or my women are tough, or they're just emotional. Defaulter mindset. Designer mindset says, connection with my daughter is hard this week. I don't know why, but something's up. I got to figure it out, right? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. And I think a lot of these gifts, to this quote's point, in my mind, what I'm hearing is there are so many gifts that are unlocked through the journey of fatherhood. I'm 4 years in, and I mean, it's an onion. There's just no stop to it. And it's the most impactful journey I've ever been a part of. And I think that's where this quote hits me. Is it's not for perfect men, it's to perfect men. And I do feel as much of being committed to the pursuit of betterment as a father, as much as I can tangibly feel progress, that's what it feels like. It feels like there's a meter that I can see where I'm progressing and progressing and progressing and progressing, where there's a path that I can actually see. Now, I can't actually quantify that, but I feel it. I think that that's what this quote hits me with, is that you have to have first an awareness to be able to pick up all of the different gifts. And if you're looking at fatherhood and you're someone who's thinking, fuck, dude, I think we've all been around those dads who like downplay it. It's kind of a bummer to me, to be honest with you. It's like, how do you like being a dad? And they're always shitting in the house, and they never pick up their stuff, and just come home tired, and they want to climb on my back, and I just want to take a shit by myself. And, it's just like, I get it, man, but also like, that's what you got. Like, that's what you got. Like, for real, dude. Like, that's what you got. I just feel bad, because it's hard. I get it. I could say the same shit, but I don't dwell on it. Yeah. It's amazing. And so I think the gifts are immense if we choose to pick them up.
Yeah, I agree, man. The shitting in the house one got me. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's great. So, well, I love it, dude. Thank you for your take on that. It was beautiful. Okay, Father, for you sitting on the other side of this screen or on the other side of this speaker, I want to close with a reflection, and I want you to take this to heart because it's very important. These are the things that keep me up at night. If your daughter described what a good man looks like, would she be describing you? Mm-hmm. Would she be describing you? And if not, what are we going to do to change that?
Welcome to the First Hero Project.
Welcome to the First Hero Project, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you for listening. As always, love you, appreciate you. For the father, the wife, the daughter on the other side of this, we love you. This is what we're doing. All this is for you. And remember, distraction is the enemy. Breaking the cycle is your duty. And legacy is the only thing you leave behind. And remember, you are just one decision away from becoming the father she deserves.